life all over the globe. You know what they ate for breakfast this morning, what they had for dinner last night. It's this. And give a ayah from Quran, hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or post a video, a beneficial video. There's one video that I found very beneficial. You can search it, go to Sheikh Google. That's a website, by the way. That's a real website, sheikhgoogle.com. I'm not going to tell you whose website it is. Yeah, you know whose it is. And type in Pitfalls of Modern Dawah. It's a very excellent lecture. Pitfalls of Modern Dawah. I don't remember the Sheikh's name who was giving the lecture, but it's very beneficial. Inshallah. Don't be an apologetic Muslim. Since 9/11, it seems as though the wave of apologetics has overtaken the Muslim Ummah. But we always apologize for what is being done. No. Islam doesn't promote that, doesn't condone that, and we don't have to apologize for it. We need to apologize for our own negligence in not conveying this message. That's what we need to be apologizing. I'm sorry for not bringing this message to you sooner. There was a story about an elderly lady who was not a Muslim. She lived in an apartment building next to some Muslims who were her neighbor. And they would do chores for her, errands for her, get her groceries for her, and that. And one day when they saw her, she had on a scarf. She had become a Muslim. And she told them, I'm very, very disappointed in you because you never told me about Islam. How many of us are like that? Who have neighbors who don't even know we're Muslim, have co-workers that don't even know we're Muslim, have colleagues or classmates don't even know we're Muslims, family members that don't even know we're Muslim. Don't be apologetic. Islam is not responsible for the wrong that some Muslims do. There are bad apples in every barrel. And Islam and Muslims do not have a monopoly on terrorism. Remind me of the Stern gang that blew up King David Hotel in Philistine. Now, same ones who did that running the country, so-called Israel. If one is serious in the pursuit of truth, he should not look at the Muslims, but look at the authentic sources of Islam. That's what we have to tell people. Don't blame Islam for the mistakes of some Muslims. Just like we don't blame Christianity for the mistakes of some Christians. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Keep it sweet and simple. Go to the next slide. We'll keep it so simple. However you want to use the kiss principle. Just don't kiss. When we invited Imam Siraj to one of the prisons, and the brothers, they loved his visit. He came to visit. We got it on video. Maybe we can make it available sometime. And at the end, some brothers took Shahada. And you know how when a new Muslim comes and you go and you embrace him, you show him some love. I'm like, Imam Siraj said, don't kiss him. Because some Muslims, we have a tendency, you go to some countries, Muslims kiss each other on the nose, kiss each other. A sign of respect, kiss on the forehead. In prison, don't do that. Keep it sweet and simple. Islam explained to them means surrender, submission, obedience, and sincerity. And by that we attain peace with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Again, surrender. And we're good at that, as I said earlier. Go to the airport. Here I am. Randomly, check me out. Right? Submission. After the army conquers the village, they surrender, but that doesn't mean they accept. Then after that, they submit. You see, so surrender, then submission, and then obedience with sincerity. One of the most important qualities of the da'wah is that we have to make sure that our niyyah is ikhlas. That we have a niyyah to ikhlas, sincerely for the sake of Allah, not for any other objective, any other intention, not for any recognition, any fame, or any financial reward or monetary benefit. No, only for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The moment you start to mix, you see, or corrupt the intention, your da'wah is going to fail. So be very, very careful to remember. Allah may bless you to become a great da'wah, calling people, many people to Islam. Don't let it swell your head to the point that you succumb to riyah, showing off. This is dangerous. This is a form of shirk. We're not calling people to ourselves. We're not calling people to a mother, or to our shaykh. We're calling them to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Alhamdulillah, we're going to close with that, and we ask Allah's forgiveness for our shortcomings and mistakes. We'll take a few questions if there are any of you who may have questions at this time. We're going to be meeting tomorrow morning at 11 for those who are interested in institutional dawah, specifically the dawah in prisons. And then I believe we have another talk scheduled for tomorrow after Salat al-Isha, inshallah. Does anyone have any questions? I think I saw a hand back there.
Brother Muhammad al-Ansari.
Yes, sir.
From Tucson. We lived here for about 13 years. I had a question. It was one of the slides that I'd seen. It said a verse from, I believe, Surah Al-Ra'd. Your responsibility is only to convey the message, and the accounting is on me. There's a note that said the responsibility of the guy is to convey the message and not to put faith in people's hearts. I would hope perhaps you could explain that a little bit more.
Iman, belief, alhamdulillah, for your question. He's referring to the ayah where Allah says that it is the responsibility of the da'wah to convey the message, and it is upon Allah to be accountable for that. That we cannot put faith in their hearts. We are only responsible for conveying the message. The heart is a special vessel that Allah controls. As the Prophet has said, the hearts are between the fingers of Allah. We don't ask how He has fingers or describe those fingers. We just know that Allah has fingers, and in between His fingers are the hearts of every human being. And He turns them in whatever direction He pleases. So all we have to do, we're like the farmers who till the soil, right? And then plant the seed, cover it up, nourish it, water it. But it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who will give life. That's Iman. Life to that seed, to that message. Because basically it's information. You're just conveying information with enthusiasm, with love, with commitment, with sincerity. But still in all, it's just information. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who caused that seed to grow inshallah ta'ala to this will. But we have to do our part. Don't just give it to them and leave it. Stay in touch with them. Go back to them. Cultivate them. Nourish them. Ask them questions about it. You see, take their questions. Give them more information. Alhamdulillah. I hope that answers your question, inshallah. Any other question? Yes, yes.
If you were to give dawah to somebody that doesn't believe in God, so how would you go about explaining worship one God and they say, oh, they're able to do this? So how would you call them to Islam?
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us all the arguments in the Quran for every type of audience, particularly for the kuffar, for the atheists. For example, Surah Al-Torah, Surah 52, ayat 35 and 36, Allah asks, were they created from nothing or did they create themselves? Or did they create the heavens and the earth? Indeed, they are uncertain. So go through the Quran and find those ayats where He addresses the arguments of the atheists. And study the Quran. Become well versed with it. You ask an atheist, if you were on a plane and the plane was going down, and you knew there was no hope for you to survive, who's the first one you most likely going to call? Oh, God. Most likely, you're going to call on God. You know, an atheist, he said he don't believe in God. Okay, you believe in breathing? Do you breathe? Yes, of course I breathe. Would you breathe? you see it? No. But you know it's there, right? Yes. So, why can't you believe in one who is greater than everything who created it? Look at a picture on a wall. You believe that's a picture on that wall? He's going to tell you, yeah. What's the point? It's a picture, right? Yeah, it's a picture. How did it get there? Did it get it by itself? No, somebody painted it. Did you see it? No. But it was painted by a painter, right? So if all of these things that we see in creation had some kind of cause behind it, doesn't it make logical sense? Most atheists generally have to appeal to their logic and reason. You know, that behind this grand design of the heavens and the earth, that there will be some magnificent creator. Look at our own solar system. They're frantically trying to find water on Mars. And I don't think they're ever going to find it. And they can't prove that it existed 1 billion years ago, even though they say maybe it did. But look at how in our own solar system, only one place in our solar system that we know of has the perfect circumstance and environment for water to exist. You know, if you go to a junkyard, take a car, and if you had to throw it up in the air and it comes down in 100,000 little pieces, are they going to all make a car? You're going to have 100,000 cars, or is it just going to be junk? You see? So, impress upon their logic and their reason. Use the Quran, the arguments that Allah give. I want to recommend that you visit IslamTomorrow.com, which you can go through from Share Islam. Or if you go to Sheikh Google, type in Dawah, and you'll get all kinds of information that will be helpful. The Sheikh Yusuf has developed in his years of giving the Dawah. Okay? Inshallah. Jazakumullah khair for your question. Yes, sister, you have a question?
Some of the sisters are wondering what's the best way to encourage people to volunteer for the prison Dawah project.
Well, first of all, you have to remove the fear that many of us have of even going near prison. You mentioned prison, you know, some people say, oh, I ain't going there, because they think that they're not going to come out. And then they're thinking, well, if I go in there, they're going to hurt me, or they're going to, you know, they hold me hostage, or... No, as a matter of fact, in all the years that I worked in the prisons, you know, you'll find among the safest of environments is around the Muslim inmates. And you have to be prepared, too. Don't go to the prison, and we'll talk more about this tomorrow, but don't go to the prison unprepared, because you'll find you got some little scholars and little sheikhs up in the prison, you know, who have nothing better to do than to learn their deen, and they're going to be there for years, maybe life. You know, I remember when I first started in South Carolina, in the Department of Corrections, I'll never forget this one. He had a notebook, a 3-ring binder of information that he had plagiarized, typed up, and this was his book of knowledge. And he had the nerve and audacity to tell me, I'm the resident sheikh here. Fine by me. Next thing you know, he's on psychotropic meds now, walking around, you know, blind as a bat. Stuff from all of these. But the best way is to, first of all, get in touch with, find out if there are Muslim chaplains working in the correctional facilities, whether it be the county facility, the city jail, or the state facility, or the federal bureau of prisons. Find out if there are Muslim chaplains, whether they're full-time, volunteer, or contract, and then get in touch with them and go through them, work through them if you can. You have to do that first. You don't want to pull against them unless you find out that they're on a different minhaj, different aqidah, and they can become obstructions too. They can obstruct the pure da'wah of the law. But do that. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is to get volunteer applications from those institutions so that they can be available to those who may want to do that. And most institutions have a chaplain or have an officer who, if they don't have a chaplain, they have an officer who is over these types of services, and ask if you can arrange a tour for anyone who is interested in doing prison da'wah. so that they can become familiar with the environment. You don't want them to get culture shock the first time they go into an institution and they hear that big, you know, iron bars behind them, and they think, oh my God, what have I got myself into? You know, let them have a tour so that they can be comfortable with it and see the environment. Inshallah.
Just like a line.
Oh, yeah, come on. Yes, sir.
I was just going to say, a lot of people don't know how many Muslims, how the Muslims save people's lives in Africa.
That's right. My first Imam, may Allah preserve him and give him health, Imam Nurdin Faiz. Are you from New York?
Yes. I'm
From Jersey.
I'm from New York.
Now, he was the first Muslim chaplain of the entire country. And please make dua for him, Nurdin Faiz. I took Shahada under him. I was his assistant in Hartford, and I visited Sing Sing with him, Clinton Correctional Sing Sing. He was the Imam that helped to quell the Attica uprising. And the Muslims are often looked at as a stabilizing force in the institution. Believe it or not, the wardens, when they see the Muslim community that's running tight, you know, that is really upon the deen, they appreciate that. And they can count on the Muslim inmates to keep order on the yard. You see, so, and sometimes they even go as far as to save officers who are being threatened by knuckleheads in the prison, you see, or who may be trying to incite a disturbance. And the Muslims will calm things down. So this is a very good point. Thank you very much for reminding me, for sharing that with us. Alhamdulillah. You got a question? Alhamdulillah. I think we want to hear from Brother Samir and we wrap this up. Jazakallah khair. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik. Wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum. Please get your bumper sticker before you go. And we're beginning the semester, the spring semester of Islamic Online University today. So you still have time. You can pick up a flyer outside. The diploma program is absolutely free. It's at your own pace, self-paced, the virtual online classes, live in real time. And then the bachelor's program is a modest cost of only $120 per semester. There's no cost per credit hour, just $120. And that's because we live in America. If you're living in Sudan, or Mali, Timbuktu, or somewhere, it would only be like $40 or $60. Trinidad, so the scale for the registration fee is a graduated scale based upon, you know, what the country is.
My brother,
Yes, sir.
I read the hadith. I was just wanting to know, you said that it's obligatory for men to have beards, but I read that
Actually, yes, the Prophet he said, do not cut the beard. We can't grow the beard. You can't grow a beard. We don't grow the beard. Did you know that? Do you grow the beard?
No.
Allah grows the beard. The Prophet simply said, don't cut it. Okay? Alhamdulillah. But he gave it as a command.
What it was?
Yes, it was given as a command, not to cut it. And this is one of the ways that we are different from the kuffar, because you know, what woman likes to have a man whose face is as smooth as hers? You know? And then some women may have more beard than the men, and they have to shave it. And in Greek and Roman civilization, they prided themselves on the beauty of man being smooth faced, like Venus. You know? I was riding, I drove a cab one time, and I was driving a military commander general to Fort Jackson, the largest army basic training facility in the States. And I was driving him, and I asked him a question about the beard. Why do the military have to shave their beard? When earlier, in the early history of this country, all the generals, they had beards. And that was very interesting, you know, conversation. And of course, there are Muslims who are enlisted in various branches of the service, and that's an issue for them that they have to deal with. Yes. Alhamdulillah. Sam?
Sorry,